Hi, somebody there from Minnesota? Hi, this is Preeti. Who has joined in?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, good evening. This is Venkatesh from H Energy.
Okay, you're from H Energy,
Yeah,
Venkatesh.
correct. So yesterday I joined a little late because I was not able to get the connectivity.
Yes. You were on the chat available. I think
Yeah,
you were.
yeah, correct.
Absolutely. Welcome on board,
Thank you,
Venkatesh.
thank you.
So, were you able to get that? Yeah, I mean, you participated into the entire session yesterday.
Yeah.
Right. Great. And what are you handling in the team?
I'm majorly handling the talent acquisition part, right from
Okay.
planning and hiring of the candidates at different levels,
Okay.
uh, and plus the other HR training, employee engagement activities and all.
All right. So you're handling the employee engagement side also.
Yeah,
Wonderful. John has just joined in. He's connecting.
John is here. John has joined.
Yeah. Hi, John. Good evening.
I think he has muted himself. So.
Yeah.
See, I am using only the majorly the whenever I need to submit the reports to the management team, I make an Excel sheet, and based on that, I
Mm-hmm.
need to keep the hiring like process or the review ready so that the management team can inform the management team.
Okay.
And apart from that, not majorly, I'm not using analytics, but analytics of lately has become quite important actually.
Yes.
So,
See,
because,
majorly what all companies are using is they're working on Excel only.
yeah,
That is
correct.
see, that is the most available software, I would say, which is with us,
Yeah,
and most smart software which we can use as of now. So simple,
correct,
smart, and I would say available is what I
correct.
would call. So I think everybody is quite familiar with this thing, and it does help you. So you must be using to form your score sheets from there, and you must be putting a lot of calculations over there related to
Correct.
employee engagement as
Correct.
well.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's nice. Great. We have Hemant, who has been working on the analytics side also. I think Hemant has also joined in. Hi, Hemant.
Correct.
John is there.
Hi, Preeti.
Hi, how are you doing? Good.
Fine, Preeti. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Good. Thank you so much.
The Pramod has joined.
Yeah. Hi, Pramod.
Hello.
You're mute.
No, yes.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Started the
Good.
session?
No, just about to start.
Not as yet. We're just on the introduction part.
Okay.
We're just waiting. We're just about to start. So, Venkatesh, what exactly? I hope you were in line with what we had discussed yesterday, and it was a good session yesterday.
Correct. I got the.
What were your takeaways from that?
So takeaway, see, I think analytics is more of a number game, and see, everywhere we have to decide on certain factors based on the maybe it could be recruitment,
Absolutely.
it could be training programs, it could be the attendance sheet. So, but what we analyze and give the feedback, that is very important. So it's analytics helps in one the problem solving, how to analyze from different angles and given input for
Yeah.
resolving the issues or certain problems which we are facing. It could be employee grievance, could be employee like attendance issues, recruitment, this one. So many things it can give us the support for the this one. So and whatever today is the number games, and it's based on the surveys, is based
Absolutely.
reports which you submit. So based on that only the management decides. And
Absolutely.
many the software, the SAP and the ERPs are designed based on the Excel this one only. So what
Yeah.
Excel maybe not be doing in certain quick this one. So this is an all the software is an advanced version. So that's it. So Excel
Yes.
is based for everything.
See, again, it also depends on how much your organization is willing to invest in the
Yeah,
software
correct.
part, because
In software, yeah, correct.
because they cost huge.
Correct.
And yes, it has to be that the numbers in your organization in terms of the population should be at least more than 300 400 people, so that then that
Correct.
software can be made into use.
Can be
But
used.
below anything below 300 can be to a certain extent be managed on Excel sheets. And especially if you have 2 3 people working in your organization, especially in the HR department, it becomes a shared kind of a job,
Yeah,
so
correct.
where you're handling the entire thing. So yes, it does matter, because we are in a growing era. And like we had discussed yesterday, traditional aspects are long gone.
Correct.
uh,
Yeah. Correct.
we
True.
are stepping into the number games now,
Yeah,
because if
correct.
you see, I think to state an example, in today's time, I'm sure everybody is watching the COVID numbers also, everything, the stats and
Correct.
everything, the vaccines and everything are
Yeah,
also,
correct.
going
Analytics
totally
will
into
be
the,
there. Correct.
they're using all analytics into it.
Correct. Yeah,
And
correct.
mostly what I see is they are doing predictions, they are doing forecastings,
Yeah,
right?
correct. Yeah.
And these all things now, because this is the new step up towards the what exactly you can have in hand and where you are currently situated in an organization. And HR has to play a very big role in this.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
gone are the days where we were just handling people. It's like
Correct.
now it's numbers and numbers.
Numbers, yeah, correct. And everywhere, like whenever we have to report to the management, it is based on the numbers. How many
Yes.
hirings? What is the manpower
See,
strength?
because what your management is looking after is like what I discussed yesterday also. It's return on investment. If
Correct.
the organization is investing so much in you and the people in the organization, and they don't definitely want to have just an assumption,
Yeah, correct. They
right?
want
So
the actual
they
correct.
want the
So
actual figures there.
what you think merely is not important, but what the it is quite possible that what data you have pulled out, that
Yeah,
means something else, and whatever you have experienced or whatever your gut feelings are, that could be different.
yeah, absolutely.
So I've seen managers, HODs asking ki, on what basis, that question comes very frequently. Ki, on
Huh.
what basis you think so?
Yeah.
So that's very frequent question.
So
Previously it wasn't there.
exactly. So now when they say what basis you think so, I think now
Yeah,
you should have a proper, a business case ready for it,
correct.
right? How you
Yeah,
should
correct.
have your numbers ready for it. So today, what we will be doing is we will be covering about, I think everybody has by large joined, I think.
Yeah.
Do we have everybody in? We have
The
Pramod,
only Neha is missing.
John is there,
John there?
Pramod is there,
John
Hemu
is
is
John
there.
there.
John is there. Yeah.
Reshmi is also not there.
Yeah. She is also not. I think Neha is also not there.
Reshmi and Neha. So, all right. I
We
think
can
we
start
should
actually.
start,
We
and
can
yeah,
start.
we can let's
Yeah.
start, and so that they'll join in the
Yeah.
meantime,
Correct.
right? So today, what we are going to cover is like where I last, left yesterday was talking about the three-step process. Now, the three-step process is going to be where we will be talking about, what are the steps required in terms of now finally putting our analytics into place, right? So now, as per you, what are going to be the three steps? I have given you brief description yesterday about it. So let's have this question to everybody. What do you think are the three steps which are actually now we are looking at? So it's, you can say this is going to be more like you are revising what we did yesterday also, and I will pull in more information into it. Any idea? Do you have screen on your available on your desktops, laptops?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
great.
What's
So
the question?
the question is, right in front of you on the screen, what are the three steps you think are important for the HR analytic process?
One is the data. I feel it's very important from where
Yes,
the data has been
collected, I would
collected.
say.
Yeah, collecting
Absolutely.
data.
The source
Yeah,
of data,
source of data. This is what
source
we did
and
yesterday. It should make sense, right?
authentic data.
Authentic data, right? See, because as an HR, when we are collecting data, uh, I have seen people getting so confused from what numbers do we tally. Now, I want to ask this question to you. When you are collecting data, what are you evaluating that data with? Do you have any reference data attached to it? Previous history? Yes. As an organization,
Yes.
how many months back do you go in terms of when you are pulling in some numbers where you can put some references? Are you pulling in some numbers from the uh, previous months?
Yeah,
It
maybe
depends what kind of activity it is.
Okay, let's take up hiring.
so hiring, we compare last year's data, like how many
Yeah.
people we are hired,
Yeah.
and then how many people are newly joined, and based on that, what is attrition rate, and
Yes.
then
So probably last year, this month in
yeah,
June, how
yeah,
many
Yeah.
correct.
people were hired and
Yeah,
which
correct.
division they were hired, which was the department which was looking for more people into their departments, right?
Yeah,
Were
correct.
more interested in hiring. So that is what we actually evaluate with. Last year, this month, June, what was the exactly your hiring ratio, and this year, this month, what is the hiring ratio, and then again putting some data and an average coming out of it, right? So this is what we are using. So this is what I said last evening also, that we need to have some kind of a correlevance data, which where we can actually put a comparison, because that is what our organization is looking for, the management wants. And I also shared this, that your managers need the same thing. So the first step which is required in this process of HR analytics is absolutely right. We need to have data collection. That means it involves gathering the necessary data. The data includes employee profiles, could be performance, could be data on high performers, even your low performers also, who are not doing too good. Probably you would like to pull them up. And then employee demographics is also very important. In certain organization, like I said, people come from various areas. Salaries is another aspect which you can pull in. Promotions, how often you've had and what is the current status. Training, how often do you do trainings? uh, do you do monthly basis, quarterly basis, or 6 monthly? How exactly are you doing? Attendance system, it can be another one. Employee engagement, retention, and also turnover. These could be some of the areas which you could be collecting data from. So as an HR unit, the companies gather this data and analyze it to evaluate the efficacy of crucial practices that you people handle in terms of recruitment and management and training. Now, the data required to carry out HR analytics comes from the HR systems that are already in place. Now, all these things can be pulled out from data collecting methods. You must be having some systems like information system, IT, where this data is saved and can be obtained at a later stage in time. So again, every organization, depending on case to case, could have their own way of storing the data and then utilizing it at the point of putting it across. So our first step which we go in and do is data collection. So this is what I have just talked about, right? Second step which we go is measurement of data. Now, this is again continuously evaluating and comparing the data that has been acquired. Again, you need to have history, like I said. You need to have source. You need to have something which is required, backtracked, and is continuously in flow of data, which is required to be there. And present data evaluation. So tracking and doing this is very important. Again, depends on what exactly you are looking for. Now, some common examples. Okay, we have please take Neha in. Okay, let me see.
And even Rashmi has joined. Rashmi has joined.
All right, Rashmi has joined. Okay, she will be just taken in. Neha will be just taken in. Sorry for that. All right. So some common examples now which we can include in this is for measurement of data, which most of the companies are using, is turnover rate, absenteeism, and hiring cost, because this is what exactly they are looking for majorly. Because employee engagement probably could take a little backseat could not be so important, but in most of the companies now that is also one of the aspects. So rate of which employees quit their job, obviously you want to know, like I was just discussing last year this time, what was the hiring ratio and how many people left, what is the attrition rate happening. So that is what exactly you would be looking for. Average absenteeism, how many leaves people are taking in a month and what could be the reasons, also could be one of the aspects. And then how much is the recurring cost which is going in hiring and recruiting the people which you actually need in a particular department. So these metrics are gathered over time, and they do like I said, we need to have uh, at least, I would say minimum 5 years of your data in place so that you can have actual comparisons. Now, some people, some organization also measure their data with last year or just 1 year old data can be also good to them. They don't want to go into too much of history. That is fine. But larger companies like if I talk about Google, they will be going in from the previous 5 years of data, evaluating everything, and they go into huge metrics to follow how exactly their organization is running and what is the problem areas, pain areas which they can be taking care of. Now, third important step now over here which we talk about is the analysis of data, which is very important. Like we told, we discussed yesterday that there are different levels of analysis, that different level of HR analytics. Yes, they are all covered into this. So this stage focuses on identifying critical patterns, what are the trends which are going on, and what exactly can be taken care of. This stage also uses information from the other stages, or other, I would say, sources also, probably where analysis could happen. And definitely people like finance, your managers, immediate team leaders are one of the best sources to help you out in analyzing this data. Because sometimes what happens, the people who are working in their department, and the growth and the chart flow of the people working in the department, they're very closely monitored by your managers. So over here the managers, I would say, would be better you know judge for that, right? So analysis of data is very important in this, which we talk about. Now, these were the three stages which we were discussing. Again, HR is, by and large, it is the very most of the one of the most crucial stages, I would say, when we are analyzing the data. And HR is by and large doing whatever possible, taking out, understanding the various factors that may be, limiting overall the growth of the organization. So this aspect of, analyzing data can be very fruitful for taking out the numbers which you're actually looking for. Now, next step for this, after this, we will be talking about is HR maturity model. Now, definitely we have talked about since last class, we have talked about uh, talking about the concept of data and how we grew in terms of analytics, importance of the analytics, and from where the data sources can come, who can participate, what is the kind of background as an HR we need, what is that HR needs to improvise on itself, so that can step into this department of analytics. So now another very important aspect we talk about is uh, maturity model. Now we had talked about the four levels. We will be visiting again to them. Descriptive analytics, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. We will be discussing now a little in detail about them in maturity model, and then see where exactly in today's time HR has to be putting more focus on. So that is where we will be going to. So uh,
Excuse me, Preeti, can you just tell me what is this maturity model?
maturity model is how you're from traditional HR to what is the current focus of analytics, how you have matured through
Okay.
this entire process, right?
Okay.
Now, the process of maturity is going through four stages. That is, first is the description, which we had discussed yesterday, then is diagnostic, and then is predictive, and then prescriptive. Yesterday, we had by and large discuss more about descriptive and very less about diagnostic, predictive, just giving slight information about that. But today we will be starting from our step 2, that is diagnostic and predictive and prescriptive analytics, which is going to be the future, and I would say more important in today's time to become a very good HR analytic person. So the maturity model actually will show you how the traditional HRs have grown and what the challenges also we see to stop us in growing those things, so in growing in this area, right? So do you remember what was descriptive analysis? Anybody? It was actually this understanding of the data. It actually has to make sense to you from where it is coming. Summary reports of the past and the current data. This type is used to prepare to create more summary reports. This is what descriptive analysis was, and definitely we have talked about concept of data under this, and from where to get the data. Until now we were just discussing the same thing, putting everything into place, how actually it works. So going forward, these are the 4 levels. I'll just make you go through again. So descriptive says what happened. Example is 10 people hired, 12 people quit. Again, diagnostic analytics says why did it happen? Probably the hourly workers aren't getting overtime or pay. Predictive analysis would say what will happen if we offer them overtime. Definitely it will positively impact the retention procedure. And prescriptive analytics says what should we do. That means maybe the 1 to 3 hours of overtime will increase the tenure. So that could be my prescriptive analytics. So these are the 4 very important areas which we had discussed about in brief. So I'm just making you go through again so that you have in mind. Now, talking about diagnostic analytics, why do we do what does, just in a layman term, if I ask you, what does diagnose mean to you?
Diagnosis means analyzing the reason, exact how it started, why the reason why. I mean, I think as you I think you were giving example doctor.
Yes,
A good
yes,
doctor he analyzes like how it started, the reason and what he did,
exactly.
how you did, why
How
then
you did,
why
in
it got
case you go, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So diagnostic analytic, it is a form of advanced analytics which actually examines your data or whatever the content you have, so that it can give you the reason why it actually happens. So it is it takes you to a step further in overcoming the reasoning behind the certain results. So I don't know how many of you have I'm sure you must have done the why analysis. Have you done that?
we discussed during the meetings and everything, but
Yeah. Do you do that? Yes. So there is something called why
Yes,
analysis,
we
and
do.
there is something called fishbone theory also.
Yeah, fishbone theory, right?
yeah, we have
Yes.
heard it.
You've heard it?
Yeah.
All right. So diagnostic, can you, I to make you understand more into a layman terms, works on something like what we talk about fishbone theory and the why analysis. When we talk about why analysis, so step 1 is why it happened, why it will happen, why it should happen. Going asking questions related to why, and why. So 5 times why, and probably then you can get an answer, is where we talk about why analysis. And fishbone theory also, you can do it in a such certain manner where you are getting the answers, what exactly you need to plug in at a particular situation. Similarly, this diagnostic analytics works on I would say not exactly the same pattern, but on similar problem pattern, because it is used for problems, as a problem solving tool. So showing you further, so it is like a problem solving effort which add significant value to a sought response and presenting the solution to this problem. Now, it comprises gathering relevant data, provoking insights, and creating new information such as new field, for example, generated from the initial data, and how much time has passed since the last purchase. Probably, if you're going in for certain purchase, you could be, making it into this. Now, an example of diagnostic kinetic would be the HR department seeking to find the right candidate to fill a position, select and compare with other comparable positions to test performance. Now, this could be one of the examples for your diagnostic analytics. Now, again, I say in this analytics, we need to have a good visualization of data. Uh, and it will make it much easier, to work at this state, because they are great. They give you a great insight using a well designed table or graph or filter, which, yes, if you're doing it in an MS Excel, would probably give you a very limited kind of a view, and the visualizations, and the you can say the graphs could not be so high tech or 3D formations, but yes, you would get something. But a good knowledge of a database like SQL would really work on. And there are certain softwares also which you can use for visualization of entirely, putting this analytics into place, right? Now, when we talk about some techniques which we are using in this kind of analytics, there are four techniques actually which are used uh, to do this kind of analytics. First technique, let me introduce you to that, is data discovery. So on your screen, there are 4 points which we actually do in this analytics. We need to have a process in place. We need to identify the source of data, which will help them to interpret the results, and then probably drilling them down. That means you need to have involving focusing on certain facet of the data or a particular widget. Now, this drill down is easily done with one of the most known software, if you've heard of, is BI platform. Power BI. Have you heard of this software?
Yeah, heard.
You've heard.
Recently, I
Great.
need to, yeah.
Yes. So they are worked on this. It works wonderful in this. And then the third step is we are talking about data mining. Like I said, that it has to be massive set of data in place, to so that you can do a lot of information processing over here. Third step relates to that. And then fourth is correlating your data to pinpoint any kind of further investigation which is required, and prepare for further parameters which you would require to plug in the areas which need more help, or need to be plugged in properly. So correlation of data happens in the fourth stage. So these are the four stages, or you can say four techniques which are used in terms of putting your you know uh, diagnostic analytics cross, right? So going on to uh, next is we would say predicting. Now, we all are going through a lot of attrition problem. Early warning signals can give you something which is very important sign to maintain or retain your employees. So do you think if something in terms of prediction analytics could be worked out, will be more helpful to you in terms of putting your people into place and not letting the most important manpower go out of your hands? Definitely I would say it would be blessing if we are able to predict what kind of thing. So, and for this I would suggest you to be in line with your managers, because like I just said, if a manager is also on a team's members personal friend list, I was referring this yesterday, he would be the person to know the maximum about the person who's going to stay back and which is going to leave early. So this triggered this triggers more of the training programs for managers. I would also say that they should also be participating in your numbers, in your reports. They should also know where exactly the problem is coming from and where they can come as a help, so that our attrition rates can be measured properly and not keep people leave. So prediction is very important, and that is where we are talking about predictive analysis. uh, this refers to the technology used by most of the HR purposes and uses statistics, uh, learns from existing data in order to predict future outcomes. Like the word says, I need to predict, I need to go out, I need to see what is happening, I need to know what my people are doing, I want to know how long a person will stay in my organization, or probably, is planning to leave, and what could be the reason of leaving. So we all do exit interviews also. I'm sure you all are doing that, right? Do we do exit interviews?
Yeah, I think in our
Yes, we do.
organization,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, because when that's one of the most important, I would say, feedback or a questionnaire, which can actually give you a good prediction about, what exactly is happening and what are the major reasons coming for people leaving out of your organization. Now, going forward, it is actually finding future, from your past data, like it is mentioned. And very good example of predictive, and this is used in our day-to-day life, is our credit cards. Like I had mentioned, they use your historical data and analyze the potential customer who will pay back in time and who's not going to pay back in time, and that's how they are actually catching people who are misusing their credit cards as well. So that is one of the, you can say, good example of predicting who can go for, you know for a very longer time in your organization. Now our next is, over here, is prescriptive analytics. Now does the word prescriptive mean to you? Normal layman language, I would ask.
Prescription.
Prescription, we go for a prescription to a doctor, right?
Yeah, correct.
Let me pick up the word from there only.
It's like giving the solution,
Absolutely,
giving
absolutely.
the solution. Yeah.
But let me tell you, it actually, it helps you, this prescriptive analytics, it helps you to make form proper decisions in your business outcome. So because see, nowadays, you are given a chair on the table when you are having a business conference, or you're having good important meetings with senior management. HR has been now given a very important role on those meetings. And that meeting actually is not just in terms of handling the administrative part or the employee engagement part of it, but it also now wants that you should be a part of the decision making process, and you should be able to prescribe what exactly is going to do. So it's going to happen. So for this we need, a lot of analytical mind here, I would say, and a lot of people coming with a background with some maths, I would, and statistics background, I would say. And this will help you to give a good prescription, prescribing what is going to be next happening. And I would say prescriptive and predictive, they go in hand, because that's how you will be able to make a decision what is good in terms of, for the organization, and what can be not good, and can be let go if it is actually not right. So prescriptive analysis provides data, scientists, or I would say internal teams, with a plan to reach their future goals. uh, so let's go on to the next slide, which can give you more information. uh, a prescription shows business decision makers. This is what I just mentioned. Uh, it denotes the use of many different disciplines, such as artificial intelligence, mathematics, analysts, and simulations, to advise the user with whether to act or what course of action to be taken. So yes, it is helping into making your decision making process. Now a very good example is, marketing and sales. Agencies have access to large amount of customer data that can help them to determine optimal marketing strategies, such as what types of product pair well together and how to price products. Now, prescriptive analytics allows marketers and sales staff to become more precise with their campaigns and customer outreach, as they no longer have to act simply on intuition and experience. So you are gathering data over there again, what gels with what. Again, like I told you yesterday, that when you're going for shopping, all this thing is happening at the back end, so that they can tap good customers, and they know what are your choices, what are your requirement, what you need, and what your likes and dislikes are, what you like to gel, probably a product A with product B, so that they can give you the best offer for that. And that's how the marketing strategies also happen. Now another example for prescriptive analytics could be, which is happening nowadays, is online learnings. The use of this analytics helps you in growing and finding out some good technologies which is required nowadays for learning from home. And there are some tools that could be used to identify what content the learner wants to learn or has already learned, and then they master the content accordingly for you, and they are tweaking and making it as per your requirement, so it's tailor made for you. So talking about learning management system, and in training programs, or I would say even in engaging your employees in training programs, this kind of a prescriptive analysis helps you a lot. uh, it enables to administer and define specific rules also. That means you're taking feedback, that helps a lot. Action to be we also have an action plan which we do after the training programs. Do you do training programs and take an action plan in your organization?
Yeah, yeah, we designed based on the performance development planning. We designed the training programs for the employees.
Okay, now that is where what you're doing, you're designing the training programs. Now what about action plan? Do you give an action plan to each participant?
Action plan is given by the yeah, that's the respective department. Ki how the training has to be pursued and
No, I am not saying by the other person. Now, action plan actually comes from HR itself. You can also form an action plan. That means what importance of learning you have gathered
mm,
from the training program, and how you're going to use it or implement it in your department,
day
team,
to day.
or
Correct.
organization, and what are your goals to do it, and within how many years or months or years you would like to implement it. So you are actually putting their smart goals into place, I would say, right? So action plan, one is from the HR, probably the other one could come from the management or somewhere else, depending on how your organization would like to put that across. So I would say these action plans help you to have more of prescriptive knowledge, and puts less of struggling into putting the matter or training program together. So there can be different resources from where you can obtain this feedback. There could be something like from the manager end also, he can also fill in an action form, and there could be your team leader or the so you probably will have three sets of action plans in place, so that you can analyze, predict, and prescribe more training programs based on the action plan or the feedback you have received. So these are something which where you can use the prescriptive analysis in terms of your training programs as well. So now this on your screen is the maturity model which I would was talking about. The traditional HR analytics is going from reporting to the inferential analytics. That means more about we are talking about when we are measuring the reliability, and a lot of population that is based on information based on the population which is gathered, the samples taken in, I would say, in short, going towards the predictive and then the prescriptive. So this is the maturity model. From level 1 to level 4 is where the HR has now gone in terms of analytics, right? Now, but other experiences reveal the three root causes which can actually become challenging aspects also, uh, where they can pull you down. So one is HR analytics initiative not linked to corporate strategy, definitely means you are not in line with the views and goals of the organization or the management strategies. Second could be skills and information not in place, and third could be the technology, which could be a challenge as well as burden. So now when I say challenge, that means because we people are not coming from an technology background, that could be a challenge. Burden could be, yes, now it has been given to me, I have to go through it, but I have no clue how to do it, and I don't have any help. So that could be the third challenge for it. So but you need to put in all your efforts for each of the aspect, because again, like we were just discussing, this is the key aspect. And descriptive analysis is very important to put all these three things together, as historical data is very important. You can be using historical data to develop this, and definitely where you can come in terms of technology, which is becoming a challenge, you can definitely learn the new technology, and training programs like what you're doing right now, this will help you to uplift in terms of your knowledge and your experience. And at least I would say, when you are in the in terms of discussion within your management, you will be able to talk about it. Okay, there is something on analytics and I'm working on it, and I would be definitely going for a more technology power, so that I'm able to implement within my department. So again, this is the future. So you need to put in more efforts. Definitely you have to work on goals and strategies, align yourself with what exactly the organization and the management wants, corporate strategies which you talk about within your team meetings, and work in line with them, so that your maturity model gets complete to the till the fourth level, right? As per you, which level are you on? So let's have a each one of you giving your level. So I'm sure nobody's on level 1, because that's way back gone. Level 2 could be some people, because we are still in some companies we are working on a lot of people data. uh, that is we are reliability of about a lot of based on samples and surveys which we are doing here in inferential analytics, working on them. That is another, that's the stage 2. How many of you are on level 3, where you have already reached in predicting for the organization what is going to happen, and how many are also in line with level 4? uh, so that means level 3 and level 4 is in current focus. So let me have it from you.
Yeah, probably bit more than predictive analysis.
Can I have your name? Who's this?
This is Pramod.
Pramod. Okay, Pramod. So
Yeah.
you are on you are working on level 3.
Yeah, probably, or maybe more than that. I may not say perfectly on prescriptive analysis, but
See,
maybe
you will you over there when you have reached predictive analysis, so that means you will be touching level 4 also, because they both go
yeah,
in hand. They both go hand in hand, right? So you will be somewhere between level 3 and level 4, not doing too much of prescriptive
exactly.
analysis, but yes, you will be giving your inputs in terms of what can happen, where it can happen, and probably, but that should not be on hunches, that should be on numbers,
Correct. Exactly.
right? Okay, so
Yeah.
that was Pramod. Anybody else?
I
Yeah,
think I
Preeti,
was
Hemant.
my name. I'm sorry, somebody was saying.
That was Hemant. It's okay. Please, this is Neha, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Neha.
I think I'm somewhere in between level 2 and level 3, not completely on level 3 and not on level 2.
Okay.
Sometimes I can do predictive analytics, but a lot of times I'm pulled back
Okay.
by
So,
my own self. So there's a lack of, I think, understanding at times because I'm like still exploring.
okay.
So that's how
All right.
it's.
Okay. So that means you are trying to get into the technical mode right now,
Yeah,
of entering into the metric form of it,
exactly. Yes.
understanding the numbers and the datas, and
Yeah.
that's where you are leaving the 2 behind and entering the level 3, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's good. So
But
see,
not
it takes,
completely on level 3, but I
yeah.
would not say that I am on level 3 as of now, but I'm on level 2, but thriving to go towards level 3, I would say.
Definitely. I'm sure after this program, you will have a better understanding of the
Yeah.
numbers and how you're going to place them and put them together, so that, see, it's very important to know when you are striving for something bigger, you should always
Mm.
have a base knowledge of what you're actually trying for, right?
Yeah.
Without that, you just cannot, strive to it. So that is
Yeah.
important, and
True.
I think this training program will help you to reach level 3 at least, and start putting your matrix
Yes.
into place, which were just numbers to you till now, right? Wonderful. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hemant, let's have it from you. Yeah, you're already an expert in doing this.
Preeti. So I'm also somewhere between level three. I mean, past level three, but touching level four, something like that.
Yep. Great. So this is what I wanted to hear from you also, because you're already having an experience. You have been working on this, analytics part, so that is really good. And now you also have a slight knowledge about where you can become more prescriptive about your analytics going from predictive, right?
Yeah.
Right. Anybody else? John, we have.
Well, I am from the travel background, so you can put me in level 1 and level 2 in between that, because right now I've just
Okay.
starting to be a part of the HR team.
One.
So,
Okay.
so
Uh,
I'll be over there. So if you ask me about the travel data and everything, I have all upfront ready. But for HR, I'm new, so
No, but
it's
John, I differ your statement. I guess Preeti, I guess when John is working over his travel data specifically,
Absolutely.
I
I was
think he
about to say
reaches
that.
he is at level 3. He give
Yes.
lot of predictions. He gave his opinion on it. He predicts certain things to happen. So I think he's there on the level. He
See,
create a lot of
see,
MIS in the organization.
see. Definitely. I will agree, and this is what actually I was about to say when once you were about to finish that when you're already working on travel data and you already have so much. See, when I put the word data in any place, I naturally take this that what numbers are,
okay.
right? So
All right.
do not tell me you don't know numbers. Okay, then I'll put you in the reporting analytics, okay, where you're just forming your reports and forwarding it to the management. But I'm sure you passed that, because when you're talking about numbers, you know what data means. The word data means in capital. That means you have entered the analytic field already. Now,
Okay, okay. I
only
was taking it on the HR part, HR
no,
analytics
no,
mode.
no. I'm not talking about the HR analytics. See, you are in a growing phase. You have, because you've just joined HR, and probably there could be new words which you are coming across during this training program, or during your joining, or with your seniors. uh, those words are good to grasp them and understand them and start working on them, because that will polish you, nurture you to grow forward in your HR field,
Okay.
right? But when you talk about numbers, you already know what math is, right?
Right, right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so you know your math. And when you know what is 1 plus 1, you will not say that I'm still in the reporting. Are you? That means you're in the state you can predict 1 plus 1 can be 2.
All
It
right.
is 2 actually, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So put yourself, I would say, John, going forward, you should always put yourself, say, I am in level, I've finished level 2 and I've entered level 3. So that is where you can actually start working on. See, they're all technicalities. They're sounding as jargons to you when you talk about predictive and prescriptive. But let me tell you, everybody over here, you are already sailing on those words. You're already sailing with those words. So to say that I'm
Agreed.
right, you because sometimes we do not know the technical words, what exactly I'm doing. I am working on these levels. So why I asked this question is to a self realization. Okay, now I know in which stage I am. Diagnostic, I know, which I've done. Prescriptive, now I know what is going to be. And prediction is where I am already doing in an organization, where I'm actually giving data to my senior management, saying, look, this is what I have. This is what the organization is doing. This is where my people are. And I predict this person is going to leave. You with your hunches plus the numbers, you can make a good combination,
Okay. Yeah, sure.
right? Now
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is where I will introduce you the word called PCMM. How many people do you know? I mean, how many of you know this PCMM? Do you know the word? Have you heard of
PC,
this acronym?
PCMM. It's somewhere capability maturity model somewhere.
Perfect. Who's this?
This is Venkatesh.
Venkatesh. Great.
No,
uh,
no. Why? Because I was into IT sector initially, but
yeah.
at that time I used to read some kind of articles on from Wipro at ECS and all those. So at that time I came to know what I think this is people capability.
Absolutely. This is people capability maturity model. Now, let me tell you now how PCMM is quite correlated with analytics. So, anybody else beside Venkatesh has heard about this? Hemant, Pramod?
Hi, Preeti.
No,
Little bit of
don't
idea.
know in details about it.
Sorry?
I just heard about it, but don't know how it works and
Sure, I
don't know
will
the
tell you
details of it.
that I will tell you how it will work. And when once you know about it, probably you say, "Oh, I'm doing that."
Yeah, bro. Yes. I
Yeah.
know how to. I don't know how to sing, but मैं कौन से राग में गा रहा हूँ मुझे मालूम
नहीं नहीं,
है।
सही रहेगा जो भी है. Don't worry.
Good one, Pramod.
Okay, there was somebody else when Promote started. I guess somebody else also was saying PCMM के बारे में. अभी किसने बोला था?
I think Hemant.
Harpreeti, Hemant here.
Yeah,
So
Hemant.
PCMM, I have a little. I mean, I know about it, but I don't know how it operates or works on this sense.
Okay, so now there is so now let me introduce you to this understanding of PCMM, what exactly it is, and how it is gelled with HR analytics to what you are now. HR analytics has come out. I would What I feel, seeing HR from so many years, you start getting that, okay, from where the things has actually born. The analytics has born out of it. So I would say something in relation to PCMM is which is given the boost to the analytical world. And we all have done this within our organization, or you must have come across or read something on this. So let me introduce you this. So it actually is focuses on continuously improving the management and development of human assets, right? That means you're improving the entire workforce within the organization. Continuous improvement is one of the words which can be associated to this. This can be defined as the level of knowledge, skill, process abilities, and available for any kind of organizational current or future business activities, is going in an ongoing process, in a continuous process. So this is where PCMM actually comes. So it is actually continuously improving the management and the development of the human assets. So it is definitely a software based also, where you can use. And then there are different levels over here which we talk about PCMM, which I will be talking about today. There are 5 levels which we talk about in this, and they all help you in the maturity and establishing continuous improvement within individuals, within the organization, within the departments, within the teams, making them more effective, motivating them, and you definitely have improved performance and shaping the entire workforce. And need to accomplish the future business plans is what HR can do. If you know all these 5 levels of PCMM, and definitely you can gel this with analytics so that you can have a perfect business case ready. Which, why I'm saying perfect business case ready, is because I'm going to take you to this business case word also, how to actually pitch in your business cases. You must be wondering why I'm saying this, but it actually is very important for an HR person to have a very sound business case in front of the management. So let's quickly go through this process of people maturity model on your screen. The 5 levels is: level 1 is the initial level. Now level 2 is repeatable. Level 3 is defined. Level 4 is managed. And level 5 is optimizing. Now, on the left and the right side, you see how exactly they both correlate. When I say people management, it is the managed practices. Again, competency managed, tailored practices. But let me tell you what exactly is. So, the initial level process are, actually the disorganized, I would say, or even most chaotic part, because that is where you're actually initially starting from. So success is likely to depend on individual efforts, and not considered that something is going to happen on a repeated mode, and the process would be just sufficient enough to go ahead with in a single time. So this definitely helps you to allow and to replicate a lot of things at the initial level, so you know what is going to be kept and what is going to be repeated in this stage. So it is like the most chaotic stage, I would say. So when you're talking about people management and the managed practices, you are supposed to decide what exactly is supposed to happen here and how I am supposed to take this thing forward. Now, when I say repeatable level, uh, this is one of the techniques that can be established, and success could be repeated. So that means over here, I know that what I can repeat in terms of practices, competencies, what will be the beneficial part of me, for me, you know, uh, established, I would say, or defined, or can be documented, in terms of where I can again use it when somebody else joins at this level. So for example, if what we are doing with one of the person who has just joined, you are doing the similar thing with the second person who has just joined, that is getting repeated. So as the word says, it is repeatable, and it can be tailored practices. When I say that, means you can tailor make it. That means it can be made as per the requirement. You can actually tweak it based on the what your organization requires or the team requires, and then present it in terms of taking it forward. Third level says defined level. Now, organization has already developed its own standard and processes. So this is the greater attention towards, I would say, documentation, standardization, and integration of different processes. So again, measured and aligned practices start taking place at this level, because you start defining what the team management starts taking place here. So as a result, you have some aligned practices which simultaneously go. Fourth level goes to the managed stage. That means uh, monitoring, controlling your own processes through data collection and analysis, right? So over here, whatever you have gathered from the first three stages gets into place, right? And you start forming a continuous improving practice over here. So this is where you are actually putting everything into implementation process as well. So fifth level, which is optimizing, constantly being improved through monitoring or through feedback systems, your current processes, and introducing new innovative processes, being very creative in forming your data, how exactly you can serve better to the organization in particular needs. This is where you're optimizing everything over there. So these five stages actually take you through different processes, and you can actually benefit out of them when you are talking about putting PCMM and analytics in place. Now, the process again involves three important things in this: people, process, and products. And technology, obviously, which is being used for this. So the process maturity rating in is like an ad hoc, and it's consistently performed practices to a mature and disciplined development, that means of knowledge, skill, and motivation of the workplace. It is PCMM is in contrast focus instead of the three prominent factors. That means these are the three important things which we are actually looking into it: that how you manage your people, how you manage your processes, and how you're managing your products, along with what technology you're using. So this is how it is aligned, and you would be already doing this in place, I'm sure. Probably the levels could be different. Uh, uh, the name of the levels could be different based on your organization requirement, but we are all including these aspects to form better metrics within our organization, right? So, do you understand the PCMM here?
It sounds quite interesting actually.
Yeah.
So this has the software to be used to for
Yes, there are softwares also, and see, you have to integrate it actually based on the requirement
okay.
of the organization. Now, some organization could be very small, could not, may not have a need of it to integrate it, and along with analytics aspect,
Hmm.
right? So that again can vary from, company to company. But success is likely to depend on individual efforts. Now, how you would like to put it forward, and consider on doing this, because processes would not be sufficient, sufficiently defined or documented, right? I'm sure everybody is doing replicated work also. Your
Yeah, correct, correct.
different men, repeated, or you could have different techniques which you can establish. So by and large, I would say you don't need a very big software to do this, but yes, it is a software based process
Hmm.
to be followed. There are different defined levels an organization has to develop based on their standards and managed according to how exactly the requirement of the organization becomes. So it is interesting, yes, and it does help you to form if I would like to teach you this subject, I can teach you again. This could be a good 4 or 5 hours of session, because understanding PCMM is a huge
Correct.
topic, which cannot be done in just merely 5-6 minutes. But this is something which I can give you an overview, you say, to understand now, which is the next topic which we are entering, is your metrics, right? Because now we are entering from analytics to metrics. You're going to the next level altogether. So that is why I talked about this thing, because it does require your basic knowledge to enter into this field, right? All right. So my now that we are entering metrics, can I ask you one questions? How do you track your metrics?
How do you
Track metrics.
track the metrics?
कैसे करते हैं हम अपने अपने आप अपने डिपार्टमेंट्स में? How are you actually doing it?
Hi, Preeti.
Hemant,
Yeah,
Hemant, I
Hemant.
would like to. Yeah, yes,
So we do it quarterly basis,
yeah.
and the data is collected via shared team effort, and
Mm-hmm.
we do as of now we are doing it manually.
Mm-hmm.
So it does collate and calculate everything. It takes close to, I mean, 2 days maximum for
Mm-hmm.
updating our HR metrics for every quarter.
Okay. So your matrix is coming from what all fields?
So this would be your um, tag to hire, uh, tag to join,
Mm-hmm.
attrition,
Mm-hmm.
and employee
Engagement,
satisfaction, engagement. Yeah,
engagement. Yeah.
and also this will be onboarding feedback, interview feedback,
Yeah.
candidate experience,
Mm-hmm.
and all those are there.
Okay. So you are that. Then I take it you're doing on the Excel itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a very there is a very simple process in doing in Excel. You're creating your dashboard in Excel. You need to import the data into Excel, the entire, and set up your Excel dashboard. So that's how you actually do it. Form tables, analyze the data, build your combinations to what color you would like to highlight, to what exactly it is. So it is very important that we know where exactly our numbers are coming from. But another very good, I would like to show my next slide. How organizations measuring HR analytics, are these a lot of organization actually measuring HR metrics or not? So let me give you some few quick you know look into this. 50%, 51% of HR respondents said they could perform predictive or prescriptive analytics, compared to just 37% in finance, I would say. And this indicates a degree of data processing maturity ahead of the other departments. So 51% people, they do say that they perform through predictive and prescriptive analysis, adding numbers from metrics. 89% of people, they agree, they use HR metrics to plan future of their workforce. Only 1% they do not agree. 94% said that they have real time insight into employees' career development goals. And artificial intelligence is commonly used alongside HR metrics to detect attrition, shaping the talent pipeline, and predicting the candidate performances. So, if I say yes, by and large, we people, we talk about numbers. In the last 10 years, our ability to measure and utilize metrics has evolved in leaps and bounds. And today, it is just I would say the Google and the Facebook of the world, keeping an eagle eye on their people numbers. Let me tell you that. uh, there has been a survey done that 1,500 almost respondents in so many countries, or approximately above 20 countries, say this, that these people are using metrics very you know uh, aggressively, I would say, and they are actually following the results to map their entire organization together. So matrix is actually mapping your organization together, setting a roadmap for future, setting so predictive and prescriptive. Now that you've read those words on the screen, they're actually part and parcel for your metrics, because the numbers are going to give you that. uh, the reality is that we must include this when we are showing a business case. I would say, when we're talking to a senior management, we should tell them about what exactly these things matter, and not just on hunches. So that means they demand a good spreadsheet out of there. That's how you are putting these numbers across. uh, it is a very I would say it's a small difference between what makes an HR person an average, and what makes an HR person very high on the level is where he's putting his data across and how he's putting the data across to the management. So now we will start our journey in putting our business case together. So we need to be very agile in this. That is the need of the day. We need to be strategically strong in any otherwise operationally held function. And it's written there, agility needs to be in your DNA. Now, there is a small example on the screen for you, how actually we talk and what looks better to you. So in words, when we talk about something which has happened in your organization in terms of selling or hiring, uh, you tell your management, we did great. It was just, for example, you said, how was the hiring done? So you say, oh, we did great. It was excellent. And that is what you say. And earlier, what happens traditionally, the management used to buy that. Okay, it happened great. Not asking about the numbers, where exactly it's gone, who's joined in, who's not joined in, how many joined in. So we were not actually asking. Now, another way of putting it across is when you are when saying in metric terms, oh, we actually hired, 15 to 20 people this time in this month, and this was a pretty good, number as compared to the last month. Now, okay, when I say 15 to 20 people, that means I see a number there. Probably we have never hired that kind of number, so it sounds good to my ears. Now this is where management starts expressing uh, you know happiness and excitement when they are shown some numbers. Okay, I've had good number of people this time. A better representation of metric could be, we hired so many people and we are still increasing, and we plan on to hire another 10 in this particular department, so that we can have a good productivity and we have a good team across. So when you're talking about numbers along with what your the words, it actually comes across very nice. So if there's a difference, I would say, just saying in words, we did good, and when you're adding a little numbers, it sounds much better to your ears. It's like music to ears. Do you agree on that?
Yeah, it looks more authentic.
Yeah, it looks authentic. Yeah. So
Yeah.
without numbers or data, it's just an opinion, I would say, right?
Yeah, it's not facts.
It's not facts. You're just giving an opinion that we just did great, and actually, there's nothing to measure with. What
To
exactly we did great with.
substantiate the opinion, I think that's why analytics is used and is becoming popular.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And actually it sounds nice when the numbers come into here. See, that's why there are more use of graphs, and when you put those numbers into graphical images, you're using presentation mode, you're using infographics, it becomes all the more beautiful. And you feel like, oh wow. So nowadays, best way of putting your numbers is using infographics as well. Have you heard of infographics?
Uh,
Yes, Preeti.
I've not heard of infographics as much. I'm sorry.
Okay, so infographics is where you are putting presentation. I will be showing you in further slide what exactly it looks like also. And people who have done it can immediately relate which looks better. Just putting numbers without the graphical images or with graphical images. Heyman can tell that better.
Okay.
So infographics is actually putting it into a graphical image, right? So another example which I can give you is, again, like what we just talked about is in terms of hiring, how many people we hired and what excellent business we are going to do. So let me now make you enter into the, 5 important attributes of a successful metric. Now, there are very important 5 attributes. First one to talk about is quality, then is quantity, time, cost or money, and lastly is customer satisfaction or just satisfaction, right? This is what are the 5 most important attributes of successful metrics. Now these 5 attributes, what does this mean? Does it mean anything to you? No, none, nobody can say on that. Quality, quantity, does this word mean anything to you in terms of when you're making your metrics?
See, the
Quality.
quality means the way we present, the way we put the numbers and the graphics and everything, how we represent the data actually.
Okay.
And quantity is the what is the kind of data we put to make the metrics very presentable. And the time means what is how you're timing that representation or the metrics we are presenting, like whether we are
Okay.
presenting at the middle of the maybe starting of the year, during the year, or maybe every month you are presenting the data. So at the time of representing the data and giving the metrics, this one.
Okay.
And
Good.
cost is, cost is nothing but is the inputs we give to making the metrics. So because
Okay.
say everything is money is a secondary part, but the time and the time we put to collect the data, make it presentable, putting the right numbers, analyzing and giving to the management team, it's very important. So here the money is like the, yeah, softwares may be used, but at the most maximum people be used Excel as the major way of representing the data. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're good in Excel, then yes, definitely it matters a lot, and how we are presenting the numbers and all those things in a very, what do you call, in a precise manner, not in a very detailed this one, but precise manner.
Okay.
Like supposing we give certain times we give the data to the management team, like
Hmm.
what is the number of hirings we have done during the
Yeah.
last year, what is attrition rate,
Yeah.
okay,
So
and
cost of hiring is what you can enter into the cost
yeah,
here.
correct. What is the cost of hiring
Exactly.
each person's this one?
Yeah, yeah. Now the sound. So it what actually it means is when looking to solve a problem, predict a change, or when building a business proposition for your management, the more you can pull the metrics that you have, the better it is. So the 5 attributes that these as these are, the more solid foundation you can, your case will be to build on when you're talking to your management. So any metrics you're pulling out, these 5 attributes should be considered while pulling out those metrics as well. So actually they are most important. Why? Because if you only use, like I just said, if you only use words that we hired amazingly well, that does not tell us a lot about it, right? So when we are saying that, okay, if I'm adding a metric that I had 15 people this month, probably that is that, okay, something has been achieved. Then this is how actually we consider taking these metrics. So let me show you this on screen. These are the 5 attributes on your screen, which I say with an example here, uh, which I'm talking about. So quantity, quality, time, cost, and money and satisfaction is one thing which is can now. Uh, there are 2 ways they are defined. There's something called hard matrix and there's something called soft matrix, which we consider when we are forming our metrics together. We all are working on metrics. We are pulling out so much of data, we have so much of numbers with us, but exactly which vertical do I put them into? Now, hard metric is where we are talking about quantity, quality, time, cost, or money. Soft metrics is where I am talking about customer service and satisfaction, right? So that is how it's flow 4 plus 1, I would say. You can do 4 plus 1 because 4 is the hard matrix, true numbers. Soft metric is the little lesser part of where you're taking the satisfaction index, which comes into place, right? Let's have a look into the insight of this. When I talk about the hard metrics, what exactly we are talking about? Yes, Venkatesh just covered it in a nice manner. Some which we can put it here is quality is where you measure an error rate or quality output, measure the impact of training, had by the output associate produce after, or measure the quality of hire by looking at their on the job performance, is where quality is coming in. And quantity is where you are measuring a numerical output of process or program over a specific period of time. Now, measure the number of employee communication you have sent is also part of it, or you can say the number of trainings given over the course of specified period of time can also be part of the quantity process. Now, time is what you're taking time to fill in, probably into a when you're time to hire, how fast you have hired to fill up a space within your organization is what I would say is time, where we are using considering this. So measure the speed of elapsed period of time with which a specific action or a process is completed from start to finish. So from the time you have started hiring till the time you have finished is where exactly your time is going, right? So how much time you took to hire a person is what it is, right? Clear? Now, cost and money is again, like we said, cost of hiring, production created after specific training. This is where we are, talking about measuring the cost or revenues associated by the produce or specified action or a process within the organization is where we are talking about. So these are the 4 hard metrics which we need to consider in every uh, vertical which you pull out to form your metrics together. Now, coming to soft metrics, like we said, is talking about customer satisfaction, the degree to which the outcome of process or program matches the expectation as defined. So you're doing a lot of surveys, employee engagement, interviews can be part of the soft metrics as well, where you are measuring the feelings or intangible things. So that is where your soft metrics is coming into. So they're typically not things like cost or time associated in this, but yes, you're talking about something which is based on feelings. Soft metrics are the attribute where you are doing through surveys, and you measuring a degree to an outcome of a process, and whether it did meet the expectation of the customer or not, or whether he liked it. uh, you can do an employee engagement survey, a 360-degree interview questionnaire can be given. Now, these are the things that have more emotions in them, right? So they've been highly used by HR, and they're still being used, and you're using it as well. They're effective with words, but it's super important that we use the 4 hard metric attributes when we create our metric story, right? So this is one form of it, and the most important are the 4 which we just talked about it. Now, obviously, when doing all this, you have to keep your managers in mind. You have to have good bonding with them as HR people, so that they can also add to the value of this when you are forming your metrics. So keep your managers in mind, and probably you can give them an opportunity, to give you their own small metric, important metric to form your own lookout on how to get best out of their employees within his team, and what is the probably retention time in his department, which can even benefit as an HR to you. So let's have a look at some of the benefits of HR metrics. Definitely feedback is required for a continuous learning. It helps you to have good accountability. What gets measured obviously gets done. uh, Quantify the value of HR. It guides towards workforce strategies. It definitely puts more return on investment, contributes towards business results. Business case of HR objectives are much highlighted here, and you will be able to make them. You are also checking out on performance levels. Training evaluation and flow per employee is also measured in a very good fashion. So that is what the metrics do. But there are some challenges also which I would like to share here, uh, which are there with metrics. And what are those? You can't measure always what we do. Yes, there are certain areas, like you can say, uh, some part of metrics which you cannot always keep up to it. There could be a lack of purpose for measuring also, but you're actually doing the same thing, but it does not mean anything to you. uh, Cooperation from other departments could one of the challenges. Also, your manager is not supporting. Like I said, you need to be in line with them from the beginning. Keep them involved with you. Difficulty extracting data from multiple systems or multiple departments, I would say. Especially, you're pulling, if you are taking numbers from different departments, it could become a real big challenge for you. Understanding and analyzing metrics, because if you've not taken a proper training, definitely you will not be able to analyze or understand what exactly this word means. Numbers used to draw inaccurate conclusions. If you do not know what your hard metrics and soft metrics or internal and external data is all about, probably you'll not be able to put entire metrics together over here. And lastly is untrained HR doing the metrics. So definitely, like I said, on the top, you need to have trained HR to put your metrics together, right? So these were the some insights of having your metrics into place. Now let's go into the next step, that is, how do we measure? And attributes in HR analytics, how can they be measured by different surveys? So I will be introducing you to different kind of surveys which you can do. I'm sure you must be doing most of them, so that you can get some data. There's something called Smile Sheet, 30-day behavioral change, annual corporate employee satisfaction surveys. So this is something which you can use. Comparison analysis, you can use performance management systems, competency and behavioral change, performance of direct, through direct reports, promotion rate, 360-degree assessments, learning development program versus everyone else, and how everybody performs and how everybody thinks on that. So there can be a comparative analysis or surveys here. Mentoring to relationships, you can have mentoring surveys plus involvement across the business view, from mentee point of view and from the mentor point of view. So so that you can gather a good relationship there, especially where you have more of coaching happening within your teams and departments. For example, nowadays, a lot of companies have uh, crunch in manpower. So we are doing IGPs. There is something called internal job postings. Have you? So when you're doing internal job posting, you are trying to mentor or coach the other person, is where your relationship management comes in. Now, business metrics, individual group contribution, business goals, case results, performance and annual reviews is where you're coming getting from. Delivery on change management, increase on coaching and business contribution. So these are some examples and the tools which you can use, form within your organization, where it can give you a little benefit. Now, going forward from here, when you're putting your metrics, what is the first thing which you see on your screen? Hemant, what do you have? Do you believe more on scorecards? Do you know what are scorecards?
Yeah, Preeti, I know about scorecards.
Are you developing scorecards?
No, it is not done as in by me. It is done by our HRMS actually.
Okay. And what about creating dashboards?
Yeah, so creating dashboards is there. We do create dashboard for our metrics and everything, like tables and sometimes not. I mean, not an advanced level, but on a basic level, there is Power BI also involved.
Okay. There's also, sorry, say again, there's
Power BI involved. to
Power
drill
BI
down
and
data.
more. All right. Yeah. Great. Anybody else who is into forming of dashboards and scorecards? Okay. So before I say what exactly these two things mean, uh, let one of you come across with the entire meaning of what exactly uh, dashboard and scorecard trend is all about. Hemant, can you put in some light if you can define?
Uh, so
Because
uh,
you're the, I think, only one, I guess, you are who's into this
so
out of.
if I have to define dashboard and
Yeah.
scorecard can be defined as a small pockets of relevant information, and dashboard can be your comprehensive analysis on a certain thing.
Okay. So has everybody gathered that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me explain it. Why do we use dashboards and scorecards? See, a lot of IT companies, I would say, to give an example, uh, is your call centers, right? Now, in call centers, you will see a lot of people using scorecards or scoreboards, you would say, where you can see the entire goal and target of the team, which is to be achieved in a day or probably in a week or in a month. So there are target driven, uh, you know, so that is how a current scorecard is. Probably there would be a name of a person, and then how many number of clients that person has done, and how many converted and non-converted clients is what you will be seeing on a scorecard in a lane. And in a dashboard would be the result of what exactly that person has done during in the entire process. So let me introduce you towards the next, their definition. A scorecard takes key measures and displays and manages an organization's process progress towards strategic objective. This is what I said. Probably you will see, what the person has achieved, what the target was given, and whether the goal was, achieved by the individual person or not. So a scorecard should benchmark where you're trending in correlation to your goals. They typically look at data both internally and externally for comparison, uh, highlights how goals and targets are trending. uh, Probably there could be different indicators like red, yellow, green to help you visualize how your metrics are measuring to expectations. So again, every organization or every department, I would say, could use a color code. So red could be, for example, could be very hot client, it can be converted, can be talked about. Yellow could be a neutral. A green could be that he's already been talked to and is already converted. So that's how people. So in uh, IT also, if you have a project in hand, people in your teams are doing it. Each team leader will have a scorecard of what project and the pace of project is going through, how much deliverables have been given, how much the person is lacking behind, whether the project will be delivered on time or not. And that is how your scorecard could be showing. So on an HR screen, you can have a scoreboard of an individual also, and each individual will have its own scoreboard on screen to map the process, pace of his achievement and goals. Do you get this?
So it could be the recruitment numbers also, right?
Absolutely. It could be recruitment numbers also. In terms of employee engagement, in terms of interviews, in terms of retention. Like I said, how many you have retained, it could be a scoreboard, how much attrition you have had, previous, past, current, ongoing, that can be shown. And then employee engagement time. In terms of trainings also, there could be a scorecard where you are showing, okay, how many trainings in a month you have done, what was the turnout audience about, and how many people were able to retain the training program, how many have implemented. So there could be a proper it's like a progress sheet, I would say, in short, of an individual on your screen, right?
Correct.
Right. Now,
More on the sales numbers, sales figures. What is the target? What is the achievement, and all those things.
yes, everything in terms of sales. See, this can be used in any form, sales and marketing. It could be for customer satisfaction also. It could be for employee satisfaction also. Your as an HR, you could be using it as an recruitment process also. So it can be used anywhere. Again, what parameters you're including to form the scorecard, it depends on you,
Yeah, correct.
right? So then coming to is dashboard. This is, on the other hand, is more personalized. It is a snapshot of performance in time. It allows you to make analytical decisions based on the data that you're seeing. Conceptually, it's a subset of a scorecard, I would say, and it takes more detailed level look of the scorecard. So this is again going high level data and it breaking down into it. And again, the dashboards are geared towards simplified understanding. Dashboards are more important tool for identifying areas of improvement, uh, levels within the organization, not just HR alone. We cannot improve what we don't measure. So obviously you need to have a lot of measurable data over here. It's recommended that HR professionals use dashboards and scorecard when measuring their progress and assessing the outcomes. So this is what is important. So you need to go together in both the terms, right? So the most important is you find a way to display and monitor when you are measuring. It's critical that you're publishing it in a good way, I would say, and it actually looks very attractive. So discussing your metrics with employees at all levels, not just management, is also very important. So that's how dashboard and screen scorecard, cards go across the board. So you are
But
actually
how
creating.
will he,
Yeah.
how what's the difference between dashboard and scoreboard? If I'm getting some data from some of my team members or anybody outside,
Yeah.
uh, does it really matter? We should call it dashboard or we should call it scoreboard, or what is the different line?
See, like I said, dashboard. I'm just going to give you a view of it. So let me show you a dashboard. Here you go. Now that's a dashboard. Now you have a talent management and workforce dashboard out there. You have graphics there. Now this is giving you in short numbers also, and it's giving you in short a graphical image of where exactly how much is happening in what terms. There are two examples which have been taken is talent and workforce dashboard. Now when scorecard would be, it could be just a normal Excel sheet also. A scorecard could be just an Excel sheet. You're showing you numbers, not
Got it.
exactly the graphical image. That could be the just thin line, difference between both. Now, majorly, HR people are using more of dashboard because you get a very good example of this when you see on screen. You like it. You know what's exactly happening. Where are your graphs going? How your pie chart is getting formed, right? You notice, during the age. I mean, you have a good analysis of what happened in 2 years back and today. Probably, if you would like to have. So this is what absenteeism is also there. Now I'm showing you in funnel is your interview process. Recruiting funnel is also there on your screen. So this is could be for absenteeism and recruitment system. This is how a dashboard could look like on your screen. Again, we need a proper software enabled over here. You need to have an access to a software. But if you're just working on Microsoft Excel, probably the graphics would not be such in 3D forms, I would say. Are you getting my point? We will not have a 3D image,
Okay.
right? Over there, it could be just a graphical representation of a bar graph or a pie chart. Could is again using infographics. You can make it more interesting and more photogenic and presentable. That is what I would say. So this is what it could look like. So a talent turnover rate
Dashboards.
can tell you which employee or department have difficulties in training employees. So you don't have to rely on hunches, but examine the costs based on unbiased information. So this is how a dashboard actually would be in terms of on your screen if you're working on, right?
Right with you.
Yeah. So going to the next level is now where we are talking about statistical in HR analytics, how stats work for us. Definitely, I would say we need more evidence-based HR, use data analysis, research, and more people management practices, putting into all the four levels of PCMM. Statistics is actually why we do it. So I'm not going to touch too much about it because it is when we talk about stats. One thing which can come in your mind is I'm talking about math, complete math here, right? Info is in terms of just numbers, is what we are talking about, right? So it's statistics is used in analyzing and using informed decisions. It actually helps you to make you more informed decisions when you have numbers. So I will not spend too much of time here in explaining, but yes, we are talking recommending anybody in a business stakeholder, your recommendations are impactful in sharing numbers over here, right? And you are not working on intuitions or a gut feeling or just an opinion, right? So in other words, you're just putting evidence in front of it. Now some people would also say advanced stat is better or a basic stat. Now advanced stat could be something where you're going in depth, you're a hardcore data scientist, where you're just full term full mode into numbers. But basic stats is also good, which is descriptive, like normal mean medium mode, which you're using within your math statistics. Is what we are. So a small example on the screen is where I've talked about is Anurag wanted to understand if there was a correlation between employee engagement and performance in stores. So to understand performance in stores, they analyze 450 business performance indicators over a number of years, including store productivity and customer conversion, sales, profit, and customer satisfaction. To understand engagement in store, they did qualitative analysis by interviewing store managers. And by performing basic statistics analysis on this information, Anurag were able to prove a significant correlation between engagement and business performance, proving that every 1% improvement in engagement was worth an extra 0.4% in terms of business performance. So that means a little bit of improvement in engagement used to give them a productivity. Their productivity used to go up and the performance used to go up in terms of business. So the recommendation attached to this insight was to create a store management development and focusing on engagement among store staff, right? So small statistics, small measuring tool could go a very long way in terms of having your metrics in place. Now, going forward, I will share a case study of a very known organization, a company which and very well they started their journey in 2010. If I say that was but the company has been existing from a very long time, and you've heard of this name and you're using the product as well. So but let me take you to a small brief journey about this organization called Coca-Cola. You've heard of this company. Let me tell you about this journey. They began in 2010, uh, when they had thought about, okay, let's start our HR analytics journey. Given the complexity of the CCE operation, that is the Coca-Cola enterprise operation, its global footprint and various business units, a team was needed which was able to provide a centralized HR reporting and analytics service to the business. This led to the formation of an HR analytics team serving 8 countries. Now, as a new team, they had the opportunity to work closely with the HR function to understand their needs and build a team not only capable of delivering those requirements, but also challenge the status quo. Now, the first step was to establish strong foundation for the new data analytics program. It was imperative to get basic right and enhance credibility and automate as many of the basic descriptive reports as possible. The sheer number of requests the team received was preventing them from adding value and providing more sophisticated reports and scorecards. With standards in place, Coca-Cola Enterprise then turned to establishing a basic scorecard approaching to illustrate the data. Now, scorecards are a common instrument used by many organizations to provide an overview of the performance of a function also. Typically, they consist of clear targets illustrated on a dashboard fashion or utilized by senior management to guide the leadership of the organization. Now, the leadership team's familiarity with the scorecard methodology meant that the analytics team could simply fit into a standard reporting process. But for CCE to create its HR dashboard, it was apparent that a clear purpose and objective for analytics was needed, and that the development of future scorecards should be as automated as possible. So, it such a big company, they started their journey in 2010, especially in HR analytics field. So imagine, and they have been into existing from so many years. Some of the other companies which are now benefiting out of this is, I will quickly just show you on the next screen. Some people, they are doing just to saving by predicting who will quit. That means the credit card people. Best Buy, they are using HR analytics to, and scorecard and metrics relating store income with engagement. Healthcare organization cutting costs with natural attrition because they have the major churning over there. Quick service restaurant chain doubling customer satisfaction experience is getting ahead of employee attrition. FMCG retailers testing employee training effectiveness. Eon could be tackling employee absence. Shell is another company which is also looking into employee engagement. So their major focus. So what I'm telling you out of this is that these are the major focus these companies are actually looking, and that is how they're forming their HR matrix. So for them, they're probably employee engagement or absenteeism or customer satisfaction is the most important metric for them. So you have to actually shelling down to now coming to the closure of this program, the entire importance of matrix is you should know what you actually are looking for in an organization. What is the most important parameter for you where you need require the matrix for. So reducing regrettable attrition, Unilever is automated listening during a hostile takeover, Cisco opening a new office, Rolls-Royce improving the assessment process, and BBVA USA reducing key role turnover. So coming to the closure of this program, the key takeaways which you get from this is, I guess, that uh, why you need analytics, how you can become a person into analytics, what prerequisites you require to become an HR analytic person, importance of metrics, why you need them, why they're important, why you should have a scoreboard and a dashboard, how they actually should look like on your screen. If you do not have a software, we will be working on now. We will be entering our next, module. Will be covering about entering into the uh, Microsoft Excel, where I will be introducing you how exactly now you can work on your own systems, which is the easiest software available on everybody's laptop, I would say. And entering into the next level would be from there. So this is where we come to the closure of the program today. I would like to know your takeaways from this program.
See, basically, I understand a lot of things we are practicing at this moment, or in our current profile, or during whatever number of experience we have.
Absolutely.
We are practicing more, majorly all the things. But from this program, I got to know what should we call it, and the takeaway from is how we should arrange, how we should have our goals, and how to bring the authentic data out of, and how to plan your how you plan your data to reach to your goal.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Great. So now you should be more focused on what is actually going to be the key requirement of your organization also, which you
Exactly.
can add on
Yeah.
to,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
So your
Correct.
key requirement, probably you are taking out a lot of data and you're doing a lot of metrics, but what is that out of all those metrics, which is the key importance to your organization?
Correct.
That is where your predictive and prescriptive analytics will now come in place,
Correct. Yeah.
right?
This will help lot of authentic talks, authentic presentations. It's just not
Absolutely.
it looks good kind
Now,
of thing.
now, I
Yeah.
don't know how many of you are going into the next level of the training module. Is now I will be telling you how to make your basic, business case as an HR person, because most of the HR people, they lack putting their presentation across. So next module will be covering about how to put your presentation and your basic case study across. Now that we have talked about numbers and matrix analytics, now I think it's a high time now I should be able to present it to my organization so that they buy that and they're able to support you, right, in your
Correct, correct.
decisions.
This is important actually, putting the right perspective to the management team, the
Exactly.
exact what is the status and what is the future. I think
So
using these models, I think it can. I think a lot of things can be done actually. See, we do actually. So we do many things in Excel and all those things, but I think we are not aware of these concepts like predictive analysis, descriptive
yeah,
analysis. That the concepts it should do like we predict like today this much joining is that we can predict like the next 3-4 months what is the number of joinees,
yeah,
prescribe what are the preemptive actions we need to take based on the joinees and all those things. So I think we do it, but we don't put it actually on the in the numbers and the metrics. So
yes.
that management can view it and take the appropriate decisions.
See now what now exactly you have to present in front of them is that probably you can say, sir, now I know how can I predict my
Hmm.
metrics and how I can prescribe you that what is going to happen and what we can do about it,
Yeah, correct.
right? So
Correct.
now you're using such relevant words which could be a jargon to them now.
Yeah, correct, correct,
Are you getting my point? So till
correct,
now
correct.
you were not using the word called predictive,
Yeah, correct,
diagnostic,
correct, correct,
descriptive,
Exactly.
right? You were
correct,
doing
correct.
metrics.
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
are
yeah.
doing
So
metrics, right? You're now putting a term to it.
yeah, correct.
we
Yeah,
prepare reports. Prepare reports. We call them just a reports. So
Yeah,
now we know that we should call them scorecard. We call them
yeah,
dashboards. Yeah.
yeah, right. So
Yeah.
see, this will actually take you to the next level altogether, because I find HR people, they know they have the knowledge, but they do not know how to represent it or
yeah, yeah,
present it, I would say.
correct, correct, yeah, correct.
Right, we people know where we are coming from, we know where our data is coming from, but I don't know how to put it forward and how what to say about it after that, right? So that is where my prediction and prescriptive analysis comes into place, right?
Correct,
So
correct.
I hope this entire 2-day program which you've given your time to has been beneficial for each one of you, and you've
Yeah,
It
taken a,
is.
Yeah.
It is.
definitely, I think today it was more interesting as compared to yesterday.
True.
It actually showed how to do it, the scoreboard, dashboards. I think these are
yeah,
very important actually when presenting the data to the management team.
yeah. And now when you, if you're coming for the advanced level, I will tell you now how to put your base business case together. Now that is and probably I will be also giving you a task in that on the first day, so that you can represent, each individual of you can represent on the second day of the training program. And you can actually each one of you could benefit a lot out of it.
Thank
So
you.
it is just not numbers we are talking about, here we are talking about the next level of representation and putting it into practice and able to define what I need in the next month when I am starting my business, or next financial year, I would say.
Correct. Fine.
Right. Wonderful.
Preeti, hi, John. Yeah, just a
Yes.
simple question. Uh, what this HR analytics, is it possible to take in companies who have very less employees and all? Because
Yeah, why?
generally, if I'm not wrong, it goes for higher. When the example wherein the companies you had showed, those had
Minimum.
about
Okay, minimum requirement to start HR matrix, I would say, is 50 in a company.
50. Okay, okay,
50 minimum. Because see, 50 people working in an employee can also give you a lot of data, right? Because obviously you will be hiring, you'll be recruiting, some people will be leaving, there would be attrition, so you will have some data in place with 50
Correct.
people,
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
right? And
okay,
and if the company is more than 2 or 3 years old, you will definitely have a historical data as well
okay. All right.
to evaluate, right? So I would say I would benchmark it at 50. below 50, data, historical data should be at least for minimum 3 to maximum 5 years, which you can evaluate to prescribe and predict for further analysis also, right?
Okay.
So 50 is the limit.
And just one last query. I like the
Sure.
presentation. Will you be sharing this PPT with us?
Well, that you
No,
will
the
have to
reason is because you as you are aware that I'm these things are new to me, so I would like to go through it again and again so that it helps me in future also, if, like to make any presentation or
Sure,
anything.
sure. You can please put that into the feedback form, and definitely your query will be resolved for that. I'm
Sure.
sure on that. I'm sure on that. We will
Thank
be
you.
able to
Thank you so
help you.
much.
And
Yeah.
anything else? Yes.
Priti, some reading material you would like to suggest apart from this?
Maybe some
Or
links we can
addition?
suggest, maybe so that we can.
Sure. What I can do is, I'm sure you have shared your email IDs, and I can
Yeah.
recommend you some books also, which you could read.
Sure.
And could share some important. I see. To be very honest, I gather my data, and I coming from an experience, more than 22 years now into this field, and I have been consulting a lot of organizations also. So yeah, maximum exposure comes from there when you make a presentation. But yes, to start up your knowledge and to kickstart that excitement within you, I can recommend you some nice books for learning. So I'll you shared your email IDs on your feedback forms, I'm sure,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
I'll definitely help you out on that for sure.
Thank you. Okay.
Right?
Will we get the recording of this
No,
program?
I don't think so. The recording would not be possible, I
Achha.
guess, but
Okay.
definitely you would get some kind of a material for it.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Right?
Thanks, Priti. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Any queries? Please feel free to ask.
Sure.
Sorry to interrupt. Dear participants, please fill. Hello.
Yes. Please go ahead, Raul.
Please fill the feedback form.
Has everybody filled up feedback forms, guys?
No, we are just filling.
All
No,
right.
not yet. I'll be filling in some time.
All right. So if you can please, share your feedback. I guess it's given on the chat. Kindly go through the chat, and there is a link which is being given. This will help us to give you more, help us to give you better presentations and better knowledge and a lot of, again.
I'll be doing it in some time actually.
Sure, not a problem. So see you in the next advanced level program then. I'm sure everybody is coming there too.
Yeah.
Right, and we'll catch you there, which is now scheduled on the 29th or the 30th, I guess, and that the dates will be shared with you soon for that. If you're enrolled already, then you already know the dates, and if you've not enrolled, so you can do it now after this program. Now you know how we are doing it, and the advanced level will be covering a lot about how to represent yourself, how to build up your case, and then formally we will be discussing about some of MS Excel. I would be giving you an activity to perform, which we will be discussing on the second day. So the first day would be about putting an activity across individually and sharing it on the screen. So you will be also allowed to share your screen on this platform. Give a presentation of good 2 to 3 minutes. It's going to be very interesting and very interactive. So I'm definitely looking forward, everyone to be there for the next program.
Thanks. Thank you.
Right? Thank you so
Sure,
much.
thank
Have
you,
a
thank
great
you.
evening and a weekend ahead. All the
Same
very
to you.
best.
Same to
Thank
you.
you so much.
Happy
Bye.
learnings.
Bye.
Happy learnings. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.